Welcome to episode 2 of Speaking Spectroscopy. In this episode, you'll hear from Alix and Alistair. Alix is our application scientist and Alistair is our group head of product for TechComp. They both attended ACS Spring. ACS Spring is the first of 2 events we do for the American Chemical Society, and this one was in New Orleans. They themed it as Flavours of Chemistry. So chow down on this next episode now.
Hi, I'm Alix. I'm one of the application scientists here at Edinburgh Instruments.
And my name's Alistair. I'm head of product at Edinburgh Instruments. The show we attended was called ACS Spring, and that is the American Chemical Society. That is a meeting and an exposition where chemistry professionals come together, discuss their research, discuss the latest insights, and help advance their career. The theme this year was Flavours of Chemistry. So we tried to tailor our content and tailor our booth towards that. We looked at a number of different types of foodstuffs. There were over 15,000 attendees this year, which is a record, I believe, certainly since pre-pandemic levels. It was held in New Orleans in Louisiana, which is a great venue. And at the event, there was a lot of instrument manufacturers like ourselves, chemical suppliers, publishers, publishing houses, and various media outlets.
So ACS Spring was held in an absolutely massive convention centre, well filled with all the talks that were going on all throughout that building and in fact in some of the hotels nearby. The exposition itself was full of names that we knew, so it was really nice to go around to the other stalls and speak to the other industry specialists that we've met over our time.
We took a variety of instruments to the show this year. We had our RM5 confocal Raman microscope, we had our FS5 spectropolarimeter, and we had a variety of pulse diode lasers. ACS is quite a general type show, so it covers many different types of techniques. So we tried to demonstrate what we're capable of with these different types of instruments on the booth.
It was really great having these multiple different systems on our booth, ready for people to come and interact with. I really enjoyed when people came up asking about our FS5, but maybe concerned how the system could work for them. I could show how you can easily remove our sample chamber and put in any sample module to really suit your specific desire or request. As Alistair said, the scientists from basically every area of chemistry at ACS. So every single product that we make, we had someone ask a question about. For me, I think I answered a lot of questions that are about our Raman systems. And interestingly, FTIR seemed to be a really big keyword at this conference. It was a really interesting conference schedule. I particularly highlighted talks that I wanted to go to. A lot were about Raman imaging. I really noticed a lot of 2D materials research and some fascinating new perovskite materials, as well as new quantum dots. One of my favorite talks actually was a master's student who was using fluorescence tagging to work towards Alzheimer's research and the concentration of different metal ions in misfolded proteins. For me, the most impactful talk was one from Professor Peng Chen from Cornell University, who was talking about the optimization of single particle photoelectrodes using diffraction limited microscopy. He also utilized a competing reaction so that he could use fluorescence to show which areas of the octagon had the most activity and which areas had less, just to make that shape as efficient as possible.
We had a wide variety of conversations with different researchers at the event. A couple of themes that stood out for me. One was multimodal. So that's being able to carry out more than one technique on the instrument. And secondly, I would say customization. So tailoring the instrumentation to the researcher's needs and requirements. They were 2 things that were commonly talked about at the booth.
A lot of the conversations I had were about Raman spectroscopy and microscopy. And while a lot of these were from people already using these techniques in their own labs, I actually found that a lot of people came up to play our game Match the Map, where we had some maps of foodstuffs actually taken on our Raman instruments. and found that people really had not seen this before and weren't aware of Raman microscopy. So hopefully we've reached a whole new audience who will consider Raman spectroscopy and microscopy techniques in the future.
When we talk to potential customers at events like this, what we like to highlight are our unique selling points, obviously. As we've already said, the multimodal features that our instruments have, the customizability of the instrument, so we can really tailor our solutions to the customer. We also write all our own software from scratch, so that's highly regarded. So we talk about that, and we also like to promote our post-sale service. We really have a good relationship with the customers after they've made a purchase, so that's definitely something we always talk about.
As an app scientist, I like to discuss maybe if they're not quite sure how the system is going to work for them, they can always send us samples and we'll test them in the lab in Edinburgh, maybe even trying out some of the possibilities that they're not sure they need, or maybe finding exactly the right detector for their needs. And also highlighting that if they are interested in what we're doing, we have loads of online resources where we're doing our own research in the labs, or where we're creating videos just to explain how a technique is really working at the nitty-gritty.
Some of the key takeaways from the event for me was the traffic, the footfall. Was really back to pre-pandemic levels. So people are now attending events again in person, which is good. It's encouraging for us. And secondly, from a business perspective, it was about increasing brand exposure, brand awareness of Edinburgh Instruments outside of our home territories. So we managed to achieve that at this event.
This was my first time attending a conference in the USA. And for me, it was really amazing to see how researchers truly from all over the globe, like Kazakhstan, Edinburgh, like ourselves, from all over Europe, and from every point of the compass, even from around the US, had all come for this event. And it was such a hub of scientific interest and research.
We do plan on attending the event again next year. And for us, it's really trying to build on the momentum that we've seen so far through this event and through the US especially.
Next year, I think it would be really interesting to try and get out and see some more of those amazing lectures that were going on. There are so many rooms full of so many people doing such great work. It was great being on the floor this year and having personal conversations with them, but to sit down and listen to that research in more depth is what I'd be looking forward to next year. I think New Orleans was a really special place to hold the conference. It coincided with St. Patrick's Day, so not only did you have the traditional Mardi Gras beads just in general, but we had a really strong green theme as we had the parade coming out of the main hallway and into the expo on the first day, led by stilt walkers and the big mole mascot. And it really brought so much energy and confidence to the start of the conference, which just made it a really enjoyable experience.
What made the event special for me this year was the food that was on offer in New Orleans. I had taken a number of pictures throughout the week that we were there, and my food diary is now on the Edinburgh Instruments social media channels, so check that out.
Thank you for watching Speaking Spectroscopy Episode 2. We hope you enjoyed it. Episode 3 will drop very soon.